Welcome to Ryan the Otaku video. Hey everyone, and welcome to another Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous video. This time I'm looking at Season 3, so let's jump right into it. Now, before I actually watched the seasons, my expectations were considerably high, because obviously I've heard Season 3 of Camp Cretaceous is the most popular and most, fan favourite of the seasons. So I went in, expectations considerably high, and let me just talk about it and see if it did live up to the hype. So the first thing I would definitely say is that I loved the relationship growth between the camp fam. I mean, of course, we had some of the most popular team ups, Darius and Brooklyn, Yaz and Sammy, but there were times when there was not so popular team ups happened, which I was actually I'm excited for, that we didn't really see in the last two seasons. My prime example of this is, of course, episode 1, where we had Yaz and Brooklyn, Sam and Kenji, and Bear and Darius team up. So it was very nice to see them, team up with people that they haven't really, had one-to-one time with. So that was quite nice. And of course, the camp fam as a whole, they're loved for a reason. Now, one of the main things that happened during this season was, of course, the Scorpius Rex. And if I'm going to be totally honest, the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, I didn't feel scared. The most I've got was just a bit of a spook scare with the Indominus Rex. So nothing that I felt terrified. But the Scorpius Rex is a completely different matter entirely. I was actually terrified of this thing. I mean, the way it climbed on trees, its poisonous spikes, its ability to reproduce all by itself. I was watching this and I was thinking, just how in the absolute hell are a bunch of teenagers supposed to handle something like this when even adults struggle against the Indominus Rex and Indoraptor. So I was like, how are they gonna get out of this situation? Of course they did, and I would definitely argue and say it was definitely a close shave, and blue for the win as far as I'm concerned. But speaking of very intense moments, one of them was, of course, when Sammy got poisoned by one of the spikes from the Scorpius Rex, and oh my god, I was literally on the edge on my seat from the ending of the episode when she does get poisoned to when Yaz was running towards trying to get the cure and back again. And oh my god, it was so intense. I was on the edge of my seat. I was actually worried that Sammy was gonna die. I will kid you not. And I was thinking, is this show really gonna do it? I mean, it's supposed to be a kids show. I mean, if they actually did it, I would be oh my god, please tell me this was a ranking a 15, 18 plus after the last two seasons. But all in all, Yaz did an incredible job of getting that cure. How in God's name she managed to get through all of that, I'll never know. All I can say is, if say for example, if Olympians get someone like Yaz, don't let them go. On the other hand, another thing I found quite interesting was finding out that the camp fam had been stuck on Isla Nublar for 6 months, and we also got to see their perspective of the beginning of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Because if memory serves, I don't think the beginning of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom tells us when they got the two from the Indominus Rex. So it was very nice to see them confirm it in this series, because I must admit, if I remember correctly, I was always curious to find out when this actually happened. So yeah, it was nice to get that, and kudos to the camp fam for surviving 6 months on a dinosaur island. Now, of course, another most intense moment of the series, which could be argued more higher than the Scorpius Rex, was of course the choice between Brooklyn and Wu's laptop. Now, for some who don't know, Brooklyn gets actually captured by Wu and his mercenaries, while Darius and the rest of the camp fam have his laptop, which will help him create more human-made dinosaurs. and it was a choice between giving Wu the laptop back and getting Brooklyn back or not. Now, Darius and Brooklyn didn't want Wu to get his laptop back because obviously they didn't want him to create more human dinosaurs, like I said, but there were definitely some in the camp fam that didn't feel, quite right with it, especially Kenji, who just wanted to keep Brooklyn safe. Now, in my own opinion about this certain situation, there's no way of knowing of who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Like, for example, Darius came up with a plan to, keep the information while also saving Brooklyn, but it was always a 50-50 chance that this may or may not work. But of course, Kenji went behind the rest of the camp fam's back and obviously traded the laptop for Brooklyn because he just wanted to keep them safe. And like I said, it's very hard to see who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Mainly because of, Darius and Brooklyn definitely didn't want any more human-made dinosaurs to get out, because obviously they've dealt with, the Indominus Rex and the Scorpius Rex, and they didn't want any more of those types of creations getting out into the world. But as for, definitely mainly Kenji's perspective, I feel like he felt like, because him, Sam, and Ben are the ones that find out they've been stuck on Isla and Nublar for 6 months. So I think what was going through his mind is, the world forgot about us, they don't care about us, we need to look out for each other rather than, the rest of the world. And, you can hardly blame him for thinking like that. So it was very, like I said, it's still very hard to see, to say, if, Darius was right and Kenji was in the wrong, or Kenji was in the right and Darius is the wrong. But definitely at the end of the final episode, we can definitely see there's quite a big, huge tension between Kenji and Darius. So I'm very curious to see how long it's going to last in season 4. Like, will it stay there? Will it get, forgive and forget type of situation? Yeah, I'm quite curious to see where that goes in terms of their relationship, because Darius and Kenji is probably, one of the strongest bonds that rival Darius, Brooklyn, and Yaz and Sammy. But, of course, at the end of the season, the camp fam left Isla Nublar on the boat from the poachers in season 2, and it seems as though they're thinking they're gonna, reach mainland and, go home, but it seems something has come aboard with them, so I'm very interested to see how that's going to, play out. Will they have to go back to Isla Nublar, for something, I don't know. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we go from here. But did season 3 live up to my expectations from what I've heard? And honestly, I would definitely say season 3 has definitely probably become my favorite, from the intense moments, from the little cute bits we had, as well as it was just such a season that had me on the edge of my seat. And if this is what season 3 is, I want to wonder what season 4 and season 5 is going to be like. So yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for season 4. Okay, see you guys.